Hey guys, SK here, back with another Clash Royale video. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today we're going to be playing some Ultimate Champion Path of Legends, and we are currently about top 1,500 in the world, just under 2,000 rating points, or medals as I like to call them. We're going to be playing some Queenbow today and going for top 1,000 in the world. I do think this is the best Expo deck in the game, even though I do love 3.0 Expo Cycle. I feel like it's just much easier to play this version right now, so I'm going to give it a try, and let's go for top 1,000. So like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the video, and let's get right into the matches. Alright, so we found our first match against Fawn. Looks like he's a pretty decent player, has some pretty good ladder and global tourney finishes. I was actually instinctively giving him the good luck, but I am going to be playing on mute today just because I've been pretty tired from class recently, you know, pretty long days and we're learning quite a lot, so just would rather focus on the games and not really worry about BMing or getting BM for that matter. Normally I play without mute, I play with emotes and everything, but I hope you guys understand for this time around at least. I'm actually not sure if you guys would prefer mute or non-mute. I guess never really asked that before, but I've had some feedback in the past, I guess. But I'm going to try and get a lock right here because it's actually imperative to get a connection against Mortar in single. Going to log the Queen back as well, and he actually does not have enough to get the ability down in time. Queen does get taken out, so I guess, I mean, I'm used to playing this from 3.0's Expo's standpoint, where you do want to get a really big connection in single if you can, because it's quite tough to get a connection otherwise in this matchup, and I feel like it's even more so for Queenbow. But Queenbow, you do have the rocket, so I'm still going to play pretty aggressive, I guess, because I would like to get some connections and maybe get a lead, because I think it's going to be pretty much impossible to get an Expo lock if he knows what he's doing as the match goes on, because I mean, especially if I don't even have a very fast cycle, it'll just be really tough. Gonna Ice Spirit for the miner though. Maybe I can get a small connection here. Okay, don't even get one lock or one tick, unfortunately. No connections yet, but Valk will force a response out, does force his own Valk out. I think I'm probably gonna have to go Queen on this Valk. I could go Cannon, but Cannon is a pretty good Mortar counter, and Queen will force a response out, so I feel like it's probably a better option, so just gonna go for the Queen. And I think I want to save my ability. He does actually go Poison, which is interesting. I could go ability, although he's probably gonna log anyways, but I think it's probably worth it, I guess. Actually, Queen is alive on 1 HP, so gonna go ability since he is gonna be forced to log or go for like a Spirit. Does go Ice Spirit last second, so he's not playing this too badly. As you can see, it's very tough to get a connection in this matchup, so just kind of have to try your best. But I think that's the beauty of Queenbow. In really tough matchups like this one, you can actually go for Rocket Cycle. Also, that was a really nice play. I pre-cycled Skeletons because I knew he was back to Miner, and I played them kind of in the back so that they would be able to catch a Miner if he did get one down, so that was just a pretty nice play overall. Gonna Cannon for this Queen and log. I do want to get a connection. This might be really aggressive, but I am, again, a 3.0 player at heart, so I would really like to get a lock. I'm gonna go for an Expo once more with this Cannon supporting. I feel like Cannon is actually pretty good supporting an Expo. It is worse than Tesla because it doesn't fit as snugly, and oh my god, hold on. He actually messed up, did not get the Mortar down in time. So gonna protect this Expo with everything I have. You know, you guys already know what I say. In any kind of hard counter or difficult matchup situation, if you get one connection, you really want to emphasize that connection and make the most out of it. Gonna go Cannon right now because I want to force the Queen ability out before it actually crosses the bridge. We actually do get the Queen down to 1 HP, so that should be pretty solid. I'm going to go for a Valk because I think Skeletons would kind of just die. And I'm going to go Queen ability as well because actually the Mortar is locked onto my Queen. Going to Skeletons and just trying to distract this Mortar right now because I don't want to choke this matchup at all. I actually have been taking a fair amount of damage, but I got a huge lock, so I think I'm getting my stuff down last second, but at least it's working out. Going to Valk the back. Yeah, I knew he was going to go Miner the back because usually if they have like a Dark Prince or a Valk coming down, they like to go Miner the back so that if you play something on the troop that's pushing, you're forced to just, you know, if you play a troop on it, then it goes back to the Miner. It might splash your tower if that makes sense. Gonna Ice Spirit down low, and then Queen as well because I don't want to take too much damage. And I'm actually gonna Expo because I want to keep up pressure. If I play too defensively, then I think it'll actually come back to bite me because, I mean, I do want to force Poisons out. Can't really allow him to just keep spamming Mortars and Miner Poisons on offense, so yeah, that Expo is mostly just a bait rather than getting a lock. I feel like that's kind of how you have to play with Queenbow. I'm gonna Valk on the Goblins rather than the Miner because I think it's more important. Okay, this is exactly what I was talking about actually, where the Miner actually draws troops back. I'm gonna start Rocket Cycling now, and another thing I want to learn is actually like exact spell values, because I think I know very basic ranges for sure, but I don't know the exact values for every like combination on top of my head. Like when I was learning Expo a long time ago, I memorized, you know, all the spell values, you know, 2 fireballs, 2 logs. I think this should be a rocket log. Right now I just have a general idea of what's enough and what's not, but that's something I want to work on, I guess. But really nice win against Mortar for the first match. Pretty tough matchup, but got an Expo connection and held it. Alright, into the next match against Lex Gamer, 2,000 rating points now, so let's see what he's going to be running here. Going to cycle Skeleton start out, so I think I'm probably going to be maining Queenbow this season. I mean, 3.0 is always going to be my favorite Expo deck, because, you know, it's just the deck that I played the most, I improved the most with it, but in the meta right now, Archer Queen is just really broken. Rocket is also really good in Expo because you have another win con, where if you can't get an Expo connection, you can Rocket. He actually messes up that log, so I actually get 3 Queen hits on tower. That's really not great for him, because starting this out with a 900 damage deficit, not really a good look. Gonna Ice Spirit 2, and this is Mortar again. Wow, we're just gonna Cannon this time, you know, positive Elixir trade. I guess 4 for 4 because he went Mortar, I went Ice Spirit Cannon, but yeah, Cannon is, as you can see, is a very good Mortar counter, so in single you can usually get away with just going Cannon on the Mortar, but later on you have to be careful against Mortar decks because they usually love to spam stuff in front of the Mortar, you know, predicting your Cannon, and if you just go Cannon right into it, you'll just not get the value for 3 Elixir. Goes Prince, so this is actually kind of like an old meta Mortar bait deck. I have not seen Mortar Prince in a while. Gonna Ice Spirit 2 because bats are out of cycle, and I just want to soak the Prince charge, keep my Valk alive, and I can go for an Expo with this Queen plus Valk. Log will actually kill my Queen, because if you guys didn't know, Poison Log does unfortunately take a Queen out, but he does have to go for a Miner late. I think I'm going to log this Miner, because I do have to get back to my Ice Spirit in case I need to on these bats. I think I'm going to let them go, because if I do go for an Ice Spirit, yeah, he goes Dark Goblin. I had a feeling he would probably be pressuring even more at the bridge, so if I went Ice Spirit on the bats there, I think I would have taken 1 more Dark Goblin hit. I guess it's hard to do those exact calculations in the moment, but I did not really want to take Dark Goblin damage if I could help it. I didn't have the best cycle. Ice Spirit I don't think can fully counter Dark Goblin. I could be wrong. There's still some stuff that I want to, you know, learn about micro plays right now, but yeah, I'm just going to go Valk in the back, and this is honestly a really good situation. I might also try something in this matchup, the anti-Mortar Expo placement, I guess you could call it. One of my friends, Sir David, taught it to me, where it's basically like an anti-poison placement. It actually snipes a Mortar on offense. It's actually great, and he does actually go for a poison. So I'm going to do it right now. As you can see, this is the placement you want to use. Going to go for Skeletons. The way I like to think about it is 2 tiles up from the anti-lightning placement and 1 tile over to the left. As you can see, he does snipe with bats, which does a pretty good job because I don't really have an E-Spirit or Ice Spirit in cycle. Goes Goblins, Dark Goblin though, so he's actually kind of forced to commit quite a lot to that Expo. Gonna go for a low cannon, as I said. He's probably gonna predict a lot. Yeah, he does go for a Prince. Was hoping he wouldn't, but he did, so Queen is not really gonna be able to lock onto the Mortar right now. And Mortar is about to just lock onto the Queen, but I think I took care of it pretty well. And yeah, I can ignore that Miner. I can probably just cycle Rockets, but I'm going to Defensive Expo first to be safe. As you can see, this will actually target the Mortar. This is exactly the placement I was talking about. Okay, he does distract, but if the Goblins get taken out, you'll see what I mean. And yeah, as you can see, it actually hits the Mortar and distracts the Mortar. So this is a wonderful placement. Again, my friend Sir David, he taught it to me, and I'm actually really grateful because it's such a great placement. And Valk gets a hit, so that's actually just going to be GG because I can just go for 2 Rockets safely now. And again, this Defensive Expo placement does not actually get taken out by a poison. Like, you can't hit the poison on the Expo plus tower, so it's great. And the only downside is it's pretty high up, so it is, you know, susceptible to if they want to snipe it, but you can protect it. You can predict whatever they have, if you know what's in their hand, and it's just honestly a very, very useful placement overall. So that's going to be a very nice win against Mortar bait. Somehow going against Mortar quite a lot today, but I guess only 2 games. But that's going to put me just barely above top 1,000. Alright, into the next match against Ricky O. Let's see what he's going to be running right here. And as for starting plays with this deck, I think Skeletons is probably pretty good. I think Ice Spirit's probably the best starting play with this deck because you can just, you know, force something out and just 1 Elixir, very low commitment. Skeletons are fine though. Log cycling is also fine, as long as you're not against log bait, that is. But goes for Ghost. So this could be RG, this could be Bridge Spam. I mean, Ghost is a very strong card right now, so it could be anything. Goes for Barbarian 2. Probably either 3 Musketeers or Bridge Spam after seeing the Ice Golem. I think it's definitely going to be 3. I'm going to go for an Expo because Ice Golem and Barbarian are both out of cycle. Goes E-Barb, is going to Valk and Ice Spirit. Actually, Valk and Skeletons, and then he doesn't have Barbarian, so this should be okay. Oh, that's actually so unfortunate. I got my Ice Spirit down a bit too early, so it did die. Or a bit too late, I guess, because it died to the E-Barb before it could jump. If I got it down on time, I would have been able to get probably a small lock, or at least a lot more value out of that Expo. Kind of a bad Ice Spirit, I guess, but the idea was there, I guess. But yeah, E-Barbs are a very good Expo counter. You can actually take E-Barbs out, I think, with Valk plus Ice Spirit or Valk plus Skeletons. I think I did that in a video before. Just going to rocket this pump. But again, I only went in because you didn't have Barbarian in cycle. If they have Barbarian in cycle, you can pretty much kiss your Expo goodbye because you're not going to be able to break through. They can go E-Barbs, Barbarian, Heal Spirit, whatever, and just you can't really do anything. It's quite annoying. So it goes Ghost. I think I'm going to have to play this matchup pretty defensively. 3M is a matchup I've always kind of struggled with because it's a very annoying matchup for sure. I feel like I'd much rather play this one with Queenbow than 3.0 because he probably has the Gold Knight in here too. Yeah, there's the Gold Knight. Actually, I think he already played one, so yeah, Gold Knight in the deck, and it just invalidates archers. But if you have Valk Queen, you know, you don't really have as much susceptibility to a Golden Knight. And also you have the cannon, which is very effective on defense. You know, it's much better than the Tesla, because Tesla does the same thing except for one more elixir. And I think Tesla might even have less DPS than a cannon. I don't know for a fact, but I definitely have a feeling, because it costs one more elixir, and the only real benefit is that it hits air. The placement, you know, 2x2 tile is also helpful, but otherwise, I honestly think cannon is just very strong. So those are some of the reasons I think that this is the best Expo deck in the game right now, you know, Queenbow, and I'm honestly considering just maining it. Also, I'm down a lot of elixir right now. Like, this is actually kind of scary, so I think in this kind of situation against 3M, or against pumps in general, if it's not Golem, Defensive Expo is definitely the move, because as you guys can see, he does not have a big spell, so he can't actually really punish this, and I'm pretty much just able to get a lot of value by getting my Defensive Expo there. Also, if I protect it pretty well, which I'm trying at least, and it's just getting a lot of value. So, I mean, he's up a lot of elixir, but I think with good Defensive Expos, I can probably survive, even though I'm down, like, at least 10, maybe 15 elixir right now. I don't know. Like, that's just a lot of elixir on the board with those pumps, and the 3M, but gonna Queen, and I think I probably want to save my Valk for the Muskies on the left, so I'm gonna try and defend all of this without the Valk, and then Valk on top later. Ice Spirit for the Muskies too, and then Golden Knight does dash onto everything, but I think I'm fine. I think I have to log as well. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but I think I did have to, and yeah, I'm still down. Wow, that is like a full pump, and then another, I can't see the HP on that pump actually, the 2x elixir sign is blocking that, but I know I'm down a lot of elixir right now, so again, you know, the default, if they go for a lot of pumps, if you're down a lot of elixir, just Defensive Expo. Like, there's no point going in a matchup where, number one, you can't really break through. Number two, you're constantly down elixir. I think the only way to make up for it is Defensive Expo. So I'm going to go for an Ice Spirit, and then I feel like this should be fine, honestly. I can probably log on this, and I might not even need to Valk. Yeah, I don't think I really need to, actually. I was considering going in, actually, because I did have a surviving Queen and Expo, but obviously Queen did die, so it wasn't surviving for very long. Again, just Defensive Expo. Like, this might be kind of boring, but this is how you have to play optimally. I feel like if you don't get a connection early on, which I tried to, messed up my Ice Spirit, then this is how you have to play this matchup, because they have a lot of good Expo counters, and that's why I hate this matchup with 3.0, because 3.0 is an Expo lock type deck. You don't really spell cycle that much. I'd much rather get an Expo lock, whereas Queenbow, you know, you can just defend and rocket cycle, which is, I guess some people might have their own judgments about it, but that's just kind of what you have to do to make Expo work in this meta right now, because lots of Expo counters. But gonna go for Skeletons, Valk for the E-Barbs. It goes for a Barbell, but I played my Expo pretty low, so it's not going to go to it, and as you guys can see, I've just been doing a really good job overall of protecting my Defensive Expo, so I'm just getting a lot of value from them, and that's how I've been able to survive. I actually took a lot of damage there. Hold on. I think I have to rocket right now. And triple is getting kind of tense, but I should be fine. I can eat some damage on the right. Defensive Expo again. Only 22 seconds left. Also in triple elixir, by the way, Defensive Expos get a ton of value, whereas before they don't really get as much value. I can explain that another time, but just take my word for it. Gonna go for a cannon to defend, and then rocket again, and he goes 3M all in the same lane, but I can probably just stall this out, and Expo also does a pretty good job, so that's gonna be GG's against 3M. Honestly, maybe my matchup with Queenbow, I don't know. I do want to learn more Queenbow. My second best finish is with this deck on ladder, so I mean, I did have the E-Spirit in there, but yeah, pretty nice win against 3M, and I believe that should put me in the top 1,000 right now, because I've been doing pretty well. So let's take a look, and that is going to be top 1,000 rank, 958. So I'm going to go for one more win, and let's get into the next match. Alright guys, found our final game against Destroyer. I think if I do win this one, I just want to call it, because, again, pretty tired, and would just like to get top 1,000. I think that's a pretty good benchmark for me to just, you know, feel, okay, I'm doing okay, and just want to get better at the deck, and probably do well. I'm probably going to play this end season, I guess, but we'll see. Goes Hoggy Q, first play, kind of annoying, so Hoggy Q is not a matchup I was looking forward to, actually. This is a matchup that has stressed me out. He goes Muskie. Oh, so this could actually be like 2.6, but with EQ instead of Fireball. Actually, much rather go against that than like Giant Skeleton, Hoggy Q. That's a pain to go against. And okay, right as I say that, he goes Giant Skeleton in front, so that is not ideal whatsoever. Gonna go for Skeletons. I guess I have to protect this, so gonna ability 2. I think I can't really Valk. If I do, yeah, I was able to defend without a Valk. If I did Valk as well, I think it would have just been a blatant overcommitment, and then I probably would have lost to like his next push. At this point, though, he has to respond to the Queen, and I'm alive. So yeah, this matchup is something that I'm still in the process of figuring out, actually, because it's pretty tough. Gonna Ice Spirit to predict the cannon. Does a pretty good job of going cannon down low. EQ. This should actually be a lock. Gonna Skeletons to predict the Ice Spirit. No log or EQ and cycle right now. We just use both, so that's gonna be a small lock. Really, really nice stuff. And I mean, any damage is kind of crucial, because this is definitely gonna come down to spell cycle. He has cannon, he has giant skeleton. This is going to be extremely difficult to get a connection against, and I really just have to probably rocket cycle later on. I'm really in the process of figuring out this matchup. One thing I want to do as well is probably try the cannon trick. I'm usually, really anxious to try it out because I know if I mess it up, I'll lose the game. Like, if you miss, basically the cannon trick is pushing the hog into an anti-earthquake cannon, which you can only do if you push it successfully with a card. I'll try and show it to you guys if I do get into the situation, but it's pretty tough. Okay, gonna go cannon down low because right now I do not feel confident. Okay, and actually giant skeleton is so annoying because as you guys can see, it actually pushes the hog out of cannon range sometimes, which is just a real pain to deal with. So yeah, this is why I really don't like this matchup. And I don't think I have to commit to that muskie anymore. Yeah, I'm fine. Almost got a hit, but it didn't. Gonna go in because no giant skeleton cycle should be okay if he goes cannon. Oh, actually, never mind. Okay. You guys probably know I'm kind of notorious for not being great at cycle counting sometimes, but I really thought he wasn't back. I guess he was, but that should be fine. Just have to accept that the Xbow's dead. Goes for EQ, which is actually good because now he can't really go for an EQ with his hog, so I'm gonna go for a rocket because if he goes hog right now, I can just cannon and he can't really punish me. Okay, goes giant skeleton the bridge. That's kind of smart, I guess, but I still don't think he's back to his EQ yet. Yeah, he's cycling to it. Gonna Ice Spirit to hold this hog in place. Valk should do pretty good. As you can see, Valk is actually really clutch in this matchup because it splashes on the giant skeleton and the hog, whereas if I had a knight, I think it would kind of just be delegated to only one of them, and then it would be kind of tough because I wouldn't really have been able to get away with that defensive sequence. That was very helpful. Goes for a giant skeleton. Gonna go for a cannon, and I think this should be okay because even if he EQs the cannon, it'll go to the hog. I still haven't done the cannon trick yet because, again, I don't really do it much. I think I might practice it. I could even maybe make a video on it because it's something I definitely want to get better at. But I'm gonna rocket right now, and I think because I just rocket cycled, I have to do the cannon trick in this next hog defense. So I'm gonna try it. Valk in the corner to push the hog, and then go for the cannon. As you guys can see, I did get it off. Let's go. So cannon trick, pushing the hog to that cannon, which is an anti-earthquake cannon. So he could not earthquake. As you guys can see, he did not even go for the quake because there would have been no point not hitting tower. So really happy with that. I'm actually going to Xbow because I want to pressure. Again, like, I feel like sometimes with this deck, Xbow is more of a bait type card rather than a lock type card. Like, it'll be nice if you get a connection, but for the most part, you can probably expect to not get one. Whereas, you probably can just lean on the rocket for safe damage, but it's still good to get some pressure. And actually, you do get a small lock there. I was not expecting that, actually. So pretty nice stuff. Going to Valk down low, and then goes for the hog. Just gonna go cannon. Don't really care about the anti-EQ right now. Gonna Xbow 2 because I have a Valk counter pushing and should be okay. I'll take one hog hit, but this should be okay, I think. I mean, I should be up a lot of Elixir right now, so this should be okay in terms of getting a connection. Gonna cannon and log. This is a bit aggressive because I don't have cannon cycle for his hog anymore. He does go for the hog, so gonna Ice Spirit Skellies, and I think I probably have to Valk as well. And unfortunately, I actually don't get a connection, so I guess I learned my lesson, guys. Queenbow is not really an Xbow lock type deck, which is how I play with 3.0. Like, I would play that aggressively, but I don't think you can really do that, because even though it was up so much Elixir, couldn't really capitalize on it with the deck, so kind of tough. But he might go for a hog again. I might try the trick once more. We'll see. Gonna log cycle, Ice Spirit, and then gonna cannon. I'm actually not gonna do the trick, because, I mean, I don't know, like, I feel like I should probably just practice it more because I can't really be this underconfident with it. Gonna go for a Valk to do it, and this time I want to try and get the trick off. So okay, actually goes hog in the middle, so that's a free anti-EQ cannon. That time was on him, but I did successfully do the trick once this time. But yeah, I will probably consider doing a video on it, or at least practicing a lot more, because I definitely think that's one of my biggest weaknesses with Queenbow right now, not being able to do that trick consistently. Or, I mean, I've tried it a few times, I've messed it up, and then I lost because of it, so I just kind of avoid trying it now, because I do not want to miss it. But that was still a very, very nice win overall against Hoggy Q. Pretty tough matchup, I would say, and we did very well, so really, really happy. That's going to put me at 830 in the world, so really nice stuff. 2100 rating, with, again, the best Expo deck in Clash Royale right now, so that's pretty much going to be it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed again. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.